the channel for westerns and more.
Let me out of here!
All right, turn him loose. It's tough. He ain't much of a man. Better send him back where he come from.
Breathtaking Western movies. As the saying goes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty may not be one of the first things you think about when you think of Western genre movies. However, if you can't see the beauty in something, then it's a sad state of affairs. A good Western, much like the Old West itself, evokes a rugged, austere beauty, unlike any other. Images of the delicate, genteel aesthetic yield to visions of vast wilderness and bleak landscapes, conjuring the delicious loneliness associated with the wild frontier. Of course, this is not a comprehensive list, but a good representation on the subject. If you enjoy this video, please head over to my channel to take a look at my many other videos I have made. The link is in the description. Starting off with OneEyed Jacks, 1961. OneEyed Jacks turned out to be a great Marlon Brando's one-hit directorial wonder, except that it wasn't much of a hit in its day. That's a shame too, because it's an exceptionally good film, and a superior western. Brando teamed up with cinematographer Charles Lang to perfectly capture the vast landscapes and the intimate drama in this late bloomer of a classic. With modern technology recently helping to rescue this gorgeous film from the public domain, there's no better time to seek out a quality print of OneEyed Jacks.
Ain't gonna help much to say it. I shamed you. I wish to God I hadn't.
You only shame.
You might be a one-eyed Jack around here, Dad. But I seen the other side of your face. I am gonna get a trial, ain't I, Dad?
Sure, kid. You'll get a fair trial. And then I'm gonna hang you personally.
I'm gonna kill him.
And you think that to kill him will make you a man?
I don't know about that.
Won't you try to forget this?
Forget it. Not as long as I breathe.
You know, maybe the boys all petered out from playing on the beach with that little jumping bee.
That's right, Bobby. Sure share with us. Get up, you scum-sucking pig. Yeah! You mention her once more.
Heaven's Gate, 1980. Heaven's Gate may have been a failure by many accounts, but it was a spectacular failure. Spectacular not only in its financial scope, but also spectacular in its beauty, even as it crashed to the ground. Vilmos Zsigmond handles the camera work in this undeniably visually stunning film, the legacy of which has undergone a more favourable evolution over the years. Heaven's Gate might have been a commercial failure, but it wasn't for lack of a stellar cast. An abbreviated list includes Christopher Walken, Jeff Bridges, John Hurt, Chris Christopherson, Mickey Rourke, and Joseph Cotton. The film's winding plot centers around a war between the inhabitants of a Wyoming town, the wealthy locals battling the poor immigrants. Dead Man, 1995. The most unorthodox western on this list. Dead Man stands as one of the most beautiful films in the genre. A strange marriage of existential allegory and old western nostalgia. Dead Man is divisive and unforgettable. Cinematographer Robbie Muller filmed it in gorgeous black and white, giving a soft, otherworldly edge to this offbeat tale. Johnny Depp plays a quiet accountant named William Blake, who hops on a train to take a new job in a neighbouring town, but after a random violent encounter, Blake finds himself preparing for his soul's journey to the afterlife.
Killed the white man who killed you.
I'm not dead.
But shit, who saw what and who did what or who...
Red River, 1948. A distinctive western in more ways than one. Leading man John Wayne is cast against type as a troubled soul, still sorting through psychological issues. Romance isn't the central focus of this story, but these slightly unorthodox touches work in the film's favour, and the result is one of the all-time great westerns. Russell Harland is the cinematographer, and with famed director Howard Hawks, he helps craft a visually stunning movie. The basic story here is relatively simple. An experienced cattle rancher leads a long cattle drive from Texas to Missouri with his younger partner. The drama plays out in the interactions between the two men, who are thrown together for an extended amount of time under stressful circumstances. The Big Country, 1958. Before William Wilder made the sprawling epic Ben-Hur, he demonstrated he could handle a complex story with massive scope in the Big Country. This film's cast is one for the ages, featuring Gregory Peck, Charlton Heston, Burl Ives, Carol Baker, and Gene Simmons, among others. Cinematographer Franz Planer played an invaluable role in capturing the deeply personal conflicts at the heart of this story about the vast western frontier. The Big Country's story is a massive one, and the visuals match its grandeur in every way.
Now, what was the point of your story?
High Noon, 1952. One of the all-time great westerns. Its plot is simple but profound. Its performances are perfectly tuned. Its musical score is iconic. The sheer beauty of High Noon ties all these qualities into a pleasing package that is a real joy to watch. Floyd Crosby, the cinematographer, deserves much of the credit for the visually stunning black and white images in this timeless classic. Famous for unfolding on screen in almost real time, High Noon makes the viewer sweat along with its hero. Gary Cooper played Marshal Will Kane, who's newly married to a Quaker woman whose religion explicitly forbids violence. Kane dutifully turns in his lawman's badge, but is soon given the news that a criminal he helped convict is coming to town to exact revenge. Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968. Sergio Leone left his mark on the Western genre in a way that few others have. In Once Upon a Time in the West, Leone is at his best, redefining the genre in every frame of film. Tonio Deli Colli helps behind the camera, capturing everything from vast, barren wilderness to the whites of the cast's eyes. The essence of the film's plot centres around a fight over a coveted piece of land. For newcomers, the story can be a little hard to follow at first, but that's okay. The main attractions here are the star-studded cast and the riveting beauty of the cinematography.
Only at the point of dying.
McCabe and Mrs. Miller, 1971. Robert Altman made brilliant movies in a multitude of genres, so why not a Western too? Altman plunges the viewer into the visual realm of the Old West so thoroughly that the film feels like a theatrical time portal. With the help of cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond, McCabe and Mrs. Miller will forever be one of the most beautiful westerns ever made. Warren Beatty plays a gambler who decides to open a brothel in a small western town. Just as he starts to gain trust and feel like he has the town in the palm of his hands, he meets his match in a local prostitute, played by Julie Christie. The Searchers, 1956. The names John Ford and John Wayne are forever linked with Western films. Of all the classics they made together, perhaps none is as celebrated as The Searchers. Popular with critics and audiences, this is a film to be studied as well as enjoyed. Cinematography was handled by Winton C. Hock, who helped create the many indelible images on display here. John Wayne plays a man forced into a rescue mission after he returns to his Texas home from the American Civil War. His niece has been captured by Comanches. Wayne sets out in search of her, before even getting any time to rest. The searchers will have to battle their own demons and prejudices, in addition to the Comanches, before their task is done.
I found Lucy back in the canyon. Wrapped her in my coat.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, 2007. This is a film that successfully reinterprets a familiar story, a feat which always calls for some special magic. In this case, the magical factor is stunning cinematography, which lifts this film to another tier of quality. The famed cinematographer Roger Deakins, whose involvement in any film almost guarantees a gorgeous result. The outlaw Jesse James is as legendary as they come, with a larger-than-life persona which only grew after his death. James has been the subject of countless stories and myths. Watching the personal dynamics of the betrayal is intriguing to watch, and this is an indisputably beautiful modern western. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me your comments. I really appreciate your likes, shares and subscribing. As always, please hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take it easy. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon. The channel for westerns and more.